We're in the studio underneath the coffee shop today because I wanted to do some experimenting. In particular, I wanted to experiment with water temperature brewing light roast coffees. There's kind of a standard idea in coffee that if it's a light roast, you brew hotter. If it's a dark roast, you brew colder. And a lot of people kind of follow that as if it's, the coffee Bible. But as coffee roasters who are constantly roasting different types of coffee, we don't find that to be true. In fact, despite the fact that most of our coffees are light roasts, we range all the way from 88 degrees to all the way to 98 degrees in our brew temperatures. There's a lot of different factors that go into it. It's the origin of the coffee, it's the altitude of the coffee and the density of that coffee as a result of the altitude, and it's the process. Is it washed? Is it natural? Is it anaerobic? Is it wet hulled? And the more you learn about coffee and the more you experiment, the faster you'll find the ideal brew temperature of every coffee. But this is kind of the process we go through when we roast a new coffee, and that's just trying a bunch of different brew temperatures and seeing which one we like best. So on today's episode, we're gonna do 5 different brew temperatures with this Costa Rica anaerobic natural. It's a very light roast. We're gonna do 88 degrees, 91 degrees, 94 degrees, 97 degrees, and a full boil. And then I'm gonna blind test them and tell you which one I think is the best. Yeah, and I'm interested to see the results myself. So let's jump into it. I'm just gonna start brewing coffee. And I'm going to save you the boredom of watching me brew all these coffees, but I will tell you that we're brewing V60 style, and we're gonna be doing 15 grams of coffee. It's kind of a medium coarseness. If you wanna know our recipe for V60, by the way, we've got a video about that. I'm just writing 100 on the bottom of this cup so that we know which one's which. And I'm gonna start with brewing 100 degrees. Put our 15 grams into here. And we're gonna kind of follow a standard recipe, and we will do the exact same recipe for all of them. 45-second bloom with 50 grams of water. And then we're gonna go all the way up to 225 grams of water, and hoping for an extraction time of about 3 minutes. But I'm gonna save you the boredom of watching me pour all 5 of these coffees, and we'll jump right to the testing now. Okay, so Neil, the camera guy, is putting the coffee down in front of me. And I should say that you don't need to do pour-overs to do this. Normally, we wouldn't do this as pour-overs. We would do a coffee cupping. We would just do a bunch of different temperatures with a bunch of different cups. And we would do it blind as well, but not actually blind. But I did notice that I could see a difference in the color of the coffees when I looked at them, and I could kind of guess the reasons why. So I wanted to be totally blind. I've got sparkling water to cleanse the palate. This is risky. That's not on an edge. Okay, and I've got a cupping spoon and some water there in the middle. And I'm just gonna go from left to right. I don't know where the pen is though, Neil. Okay, so I've got a little piece of paper in front of every one of the cups, and I think I'm starting left to right here. Yeah, there we go. And I'm basically just gonna do a little sip of everyone and mark down out of 10 how good I thought, and then cleanse my palate between. This one smells nice and maybe like guava-y even. Okay. That one's really nice. It was, nice and sweet. I would call that one very sweet. Let's give that one an 8.5. I don't know if I can read my own writing after this. Second cup, that's the first one. Oh, I forgot the spoon. Okay, the second cup also smells sweet, but maybe more like pineapple-y. There is tropical fruit in this Costa Rica. Ooh, I would say this one's a little bit sharper tasting, which would lead me to believe that maybe this was, I'm so worried about knocking things over. That would lead me to believe that maybe this one was a hotter brew temperature, more extraction. But I'm not sure I like it better. I think I like the one on the left better, so I'm gonna give this one an 8. At least that's what I think I wrote down. Okay, the middle one, spoon. This one smells smoother, like almost more well-rounded, and actually tastes more well-rounded. You get more like clementine, sweet orange, mandarin, and I'd say that cup tastes a little bit more complex. Okay, I don't know which paper's which. I would say maybe that's like an 8.5 as well, which isn't really fair. Oh, do I like this one better than the first one? I think no. Let's go 8.25. And that's kind of a point too, is just because it tastes more well-rounded might not be your taste. You know, you might prefer something that's sweeter or goes on one end of the spectrum of the coffee flavor profile. I think I'm on cup number 4 and I haven't knocked anything over yet.
No, I'll move over.
I figured it out, Neil. I don't need an adult. Okay, I need an adult. This one smells stronger. Ooh, that's really nice. That one is really nice. So nice, I'm gonna taste it twice. That one is very sweet, but also really like smooth. Like, that one's really nice. I think that's this paper. I'm gonna go all the way to the 8.75 on this one. Probably even give that one a 9. Ooh, that one's good. Okay, last one. This one smells really nice. Oh, I missed my mouth. Okay, try that again. I don't know how I feel about this one. That one feels a little bit boring compared to the others. And maybe it's just because my palate is now getting fatigued, but I will say that's my least favorite, and I'm gonna give that one a 7. And now I'm going to let Neil try them. Wow, it's bright. I'm gonna flip over my scores, and I'm not gonna make Neil do this blind, but I am gonna make Neil come into the frame and literally just mark down a score out of 10 for each of them, and let him try them. I'm gonna wash the spoon off for him first. I'm gonna stand over you awkwardly because the mic's here.
The mic, hello.
Hello! Neil's from Ireland. Just give it a score out of 10.
Yeah. It's like we've prepared this.
What did you give that? 7? Okay, 7. Really? I don't remember what I gave anything. The sounds you make when you cup is horrendous.
It's not, man. That's like I've Googled it. That's what people do.
So this is a fun fact. When you're cupping coffee, you are supposed to slurp and bring air in and gargle. It doesn't make that sound pleasant, but that is what you're supposed to do. We'll just mute his sounds. You might be asking why I have a blindfold. Answer. Well, I think that was my favorite one. Neil's just scored the one I think was my favorite, 6.5, which is again proof that it's all personal preference. As a coffee shop or a barista, you have to kind of create a coffee you think that everybody will like. It doesn't mean that you think that's the best one. You kind of just try to find that more rounded profile. So Neil scored this one in the middle the best, and he scored this one the worst. I scored this one the best, and this one the worst. So Neil's second least favorite was the same as my least favorite. So let's find out. The one that was my favorite was boiling. Interesting. And Neil's least favorite was boiling. My least favorite was which one?
That one at the end.
This one at the end. And Neil's second least favorite was, interestingly, 97 degrees. So then the one that we both liked, I would say, like the highest scoring one, if you put both of our scores together, would be the middle one. And the middle one was 91 degrees. So there you have it. Brew temperature is a really interesting thing because yes, hotter water does extract more from the coffee, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna get the best flavors from the coffee. It just means you're gonna get more of the coffee. And what's really interesting about coffee brewing is it's not always a round curve. Sometimes that perfect extraction happens at 91 and then it tastes good again at 97. And of course, a lot of it is that personal preference. So what brew temperature should you brew light roasted filter coffees? I personally think that you should be aiming at that 95 to 97 degrees. But as I proved to myself, boiling isn't that bad. And I guess we'll see you on the next video.